This is AfriPlus News Channel. Tonight's analysis dives deep into the latest move by Mali that has shocked the international community. The Malian government has reportedly declared persona non grata all foreign nationals who fled the country based on what they call Western propaganda, the same propaganda that claimed the capital city, Bamako, had fallen into the hands of terrorists. But is this just a reaction, or is it a bold statement of sovereignty from a nation that has long been undermined by external influence? Stay tuned, because this analysis will expose why Mali's decision could redefine the future of Africa's struggle for independence and information control. Before we begin, kindly like, share, and subscribe to AfriPlus News Channel for more analytical and thought-provoking updates like this one. The recent move by Mali to declare all foreign nationals who abandoned the country because of Western media reports as persona non grata is not a random act of defiance. It is a powerful message. For years, Mali has battled not just terrorism, but disinformation. The constant narrative pushed by foreign media outlets that portray the country as unstable and overrun has been one of the greatest psychological weapons against Mali's progress. But what happens when a nation refuses to be defined by external voices? What happens when a people decide to take ownership of their narrative?
All Americans living in Mali, West Africa, have been told to leave the country, like immediately. So the U.S. Embassy has issued a statement telling people to get to the airport and get the first flight out of there while they are still available. So the embassy are warning people not to try to drive out of the country, but instead take flight and leave, because the highway are lined by terrorists. And U.S. Embassy are saying that they have went there to rescue anyone outside the capital. So this is after the conflict between the government and this terrorist group had issue. So one of the things they are fighting for is to control the energy supply, and also fuel level are critically low. Right now, there will not be any flights that will be going from Mali to America. They can't get enough fuel because of this terrorists, so they've blocked everywhere. So any U.S. citizen that insists on staying in the country, prepare plan for emergency, because the government, the U.S. government, has already warned. Anyways, back.
Mali has responded strongly to countries that are calling back their nationals from Mali because of security concerns. In a communique that Mali has just released this afternoon, they've made it clear that any diplomat or national that has left Mali for any reason concerning security situation is considered a persona non grata and will not return to Mali again. You guys know that the US, France, Canada, and some other European countries have all made statements calling for their nationals to leave Mali, that Mali is going to fall, especially Bamako, into the hands of the jihadis. And the Prime Minister even had a meeting with some of these ambassadors and explained to them that these are just the situation, explained to them that the security situation has concerns, but the concerns are being addressed. There's nothing like the capital is going to fall into the hands of the jihadis. But these people have continuously spread certain news, disinformation on most of their media stations. France, for instance, if you go to France, Jeune Afrique, Afrique Media, Jeune Afrique, France 24, RFF, and TV Monde, something like that. These are all French news channels. These channels don't have any other programs. The entire programs of these channels that I've named to you is about Mali, Niger, Burkina Faso, and some other African countries. Imagine that as a country, you have a TV channel that never talks about your culture, about things that are happening within your country. It's always about other countries. It's completely funny. All these TV channels that I've named to you, they continuously spread disinformation on their channels regarding Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso. And now, Assimi Goïta has come out strong and said, any national from any country that's left Mali, you will not return to Mali. And you are considered, if you're a diplomat, you're considered a persona non grata the moment you exit the country. You cannot come back in that same capacity. Because This is playing with the integrity of the country and the sovereignty of the country. Imagine that you are living in somebody's country, you just start spreading certain informations and then calling away your nationals, thinking that one day you'll come back to that country. If you permit things like this, like a nation, your country will not have dignity, your country will not have respect before the international community. They will look at your country like a playing ground. Remember when the US placed a bounty of 10,000 for category B1 and B2 visas for Mali. Mali did the same thing and they removed Mali's own. And the other countries, their own is still there. That's to show you that power go for power when it comes to diplomacy. And Assimi Goita understands this very well. And he has made it clear before them that any diplomat or anybody that leaves the country, you will not come back into that country on the same capacity. And that is it. So the information that is going that the Bamako will fall into the hands of the jihadis, that information is not true. That is disinformation, and it is not something good. There are security concerns when it comes to fuel shortages, because the tankers that are coming in with fuel from Senegal, far off the cities, they always get attacked by those jihadis in one of their control points. And now the military is going right over to that area and securing those tankers to come in, and why they continue to address the security concerns. But these channels have taken upon themselves to ruin the integrity of Mali, which is not good. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. That is the information I brought to you. Assimi Goita has said that if any diplomat or any national leave the country of Mali because of the calls that their countries are making, they will not return to Mali, and they are considered personal non-gratas, especially if they are diplomats or ambassadors. Thank you so much for watching this video. I remain your humble analyst, MC Ebuwa.
When France and other Western nations began circulating claims that Bamako had been conquered by terrorists, it sparked panic. Embassies began issuing warnings, and some foreign nationals quickly left the country. Yet on the ground, Mali's military was not retreating, they were advancing. The Malian armed forces, with the support of the transitional government led by President Assimi Goita, have been pushing back terrorist groups, reclaiming territories, and restoring confidence among citizens. So why did the world hear only the story of fear and not the story of victory? Could it be that the image of an independent and victorious African military does not align with the interests of former colonial powers? The irony is undeniable. Those who left Mali because of false reports are now being told they are no longer welcome. It is as though Mali is drawing a clear line, a line between loyalty and opportunism, between truth and manipulation. This decision might seem harsh to some, but for Mali, it represents dignity. It is a statement that says we will no longer be dictated to by those who profit from our instability. How many other African nations would have the courage to make such a bold stand?
These countries have said, asking their citizens, their workers, their embassy members, and their diplomats, all of them, to vacate Mali. In that same light, every foreigner, every foreign citizen resident in Mali who has submitted to the orders of their authorities to leave Mali, they have been automatically been declared persona non grata. So they will not come back to Mali. As you have decided to leave Mali because they say Mali is not safe, know that you are a persona non grata. You will not come back to Mali anymore. That is the decision of Malian authority. That is the decision of the Lion of Mali. That is the decision of the Lion of Sahel, General Assimi Goita. General Assimi Goita. I told you guys, that man, he has decided that he's not going to bow down to any pressure from whosoever. He has decided that he is not going to bow down to anybody. You hit him, he hits you right back. Respect is commanded. You don't beg for respect.
For years, Western governments and media organizations have often dictated how African nations are perceived, labeling them as fragile, corrupt, or unsafe. Yet when Mali restructured its military, expelled French troops, and began winning the war against terrorism, those victories rarely made the headlines. Instead, the focus remained on painting Mali as a failed state. Could it be that the real war was never about terrorism, but about narrative control? About who gets to tell the story of Mali? By calling out Western propaganda and standing firm against disinformation, Mali is not just defending its territory, it is defending its image. This is information warfare, and Mali seems to be winning. The decision to mark those who fled as persona non grata is not just symbolic. It is a warning to those who use fear to weaken a nation's resolve. Is it possible that the West fears an Africa that speaks with its own voice, free from dependency and psychological manipulation? President Assimi Goïta's leadership has become a rallying point for many across Africa, who see in Mali's defiance a new kind of nationalism, one built on resilience, unity, and sovereignty. Every step his government takes to counter fake news and foreign interference strengthens the message that Africa can rise on its own terms. But how long can Mali sustain this defiance in the face of global pressure? And will other African nations follow this example to protect their sovereignty against external manipulation? This is not just about Mali. It is about a global power shift. It is about the awakening of nations that have long been misrepresented, misunderstood, and underestimated. Mali's firm response to falsehood is a sign that Africa is tired of being the subject of someone else's story. The world is now being forced to watch as Mali rewrites its destiny, not with words, but with courage and conviction. Conclusion. In a world where lies travel faster than truth, Mali's decision stands as an act of national pride and resistance. The same forces that once destabilized nations through propaganda are now facing a government that refuses to bow to fear or manipulation. Whether one agrees with every move made by the Malian leadership or not, the message is clear. Africa's sovereignty can no longer be compromised by narratives designed to weaken its confidence. What do you think about Mali's move? Was it too harsh? Or was it the bold statement that Africa needs today? Do you believe more countries should take similar stands against foreign propaganda? Drop your opinions respectfully in the comment section below. Your perspective matters. If you value analytical discussions like this one, please support AfriPlus News Channel by joining our channel membership or sending us a super thanks. It helps us continue delivering in-depth, independent news analysis that challenges conventional narratives and defends truth. Disclaimer. This analysis is based on publicly available reports and independent evaluations of recent developments in Mali. AfriPlus News Channel does not endorse violence, discrimination, or misinformation. All commentary is intended for educational and analytical purposes in line with YouTube's community guidelines.